Welcome to Success Stories Unfold. Today, we have a story. It is a story about a boy who changed the world. It is a story about a boy who built a company called Apple. It is a story about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born in 1955. He was born in San Francisco, California. His birth parents were not married. They gave him up for adoption. A kind couple adopted him. They loved him very much. They raised him as their own son. His new parents were Paul and Clara Jobs. Paul Jobs was a mechanic. He worked on cars. He was a kind man. He taught Steve how to build things. He taught Steve how to fix things. He taught Steve that things are not broken forever. They can be fixed. They can be made better. Clara Jobs was an accountant. She was a warm woman. She taught Steve how to read. She taught him that knowledge is power. She taught him that learning is the key to a good life. Steve grew up in California. The city was Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale is in a place called Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is full of technology companies. It is full of smart people who build computers and machines. Steve grew up surrounded by technology. As a child, Steve was very curious. He asked many questions. He wanted to know how things worked. He wanted to know why things were the way they were. He was not satisfied with simple answers. He always wanted to know more. One day, Steve's father brought home a workbench. The workbench was big and wooden. It had many tools. Steve's father said, "Steve, this is your workbench. You can build things here. You can fix things here. You can create things here." Steve was very happy. He spent many hours at his workbench. He took things apart. He put them back together. He experimented. He made mistakes. He learned from his mistakes. He never gave up. Steve went to school. He was a smart student, but he was also a difficult student. He was bored in school. The classes were too slow for him. He finished his work quickly. Then, he caused trouble. He played pranks on his classmates. He did not follow the rules. His teachers were frustrated. They said, "Steve is a troublemaker. He is not a good student." But Steve did not care. He knew he was smart. He knew he could do great things. He just needed something interesting to do. In high school, Steve discovered something new. He discovered computers. Computers were very big then. They were the size of a room. They were not like the computers we have today. They were slow and simple. Steve was fascinated. He said, "I want to learn about computers. I want to understand how they work." He started reading books about computers. He went to computer clubs. He met other people who loved computers. He found his passion. Steve also met someone important. His name was Steve Wozniak. Everyone called him Woz. Woz was a genius. He was an engineer. He was very smart. He could build anything. He was quiet and shy. He was the opposite of Steve. But they became friends. They were both interested in computers. They spent many hours together. They talked about computers. They dreamed about computers. They wanted to build their own computer. Steve said, "Woz, let's build a computer. A computer for ordinary people. A computer that is small and easy to use. A computer that people will love." Woz said, "That is a great idea. Let's do it." They started working in Steve's garage. Steve's garage was small and dusty. It was not a fancy laboratory. It was just a simple garage. But they were determined. They worked day and night. They did not sleep much. They did not rest much. They just worked. Steve was in charge of the design. He wanted the computer to be beautiful. He wanted it to be simple. He wanted it to be perfect. He said, "The design is important. People care about how things look. If it looks good, people will want to use it." Woz was in charge of the engineering. He built the circuit boards. He wrote the software. He made the computer work. He was brilliant. He could solve any technical problem. They called their computer the Apple I. It was simple. It was not very powerful. But it was something new. It was a computer that people could use at home. It was the beginning of a revolution. They started selling their computer. They sold it to friends. They sold it to family. They sold it to anyone who was interested. The orders started coming in. More and more people wanted the Apple I. Steve realized they needed money. They needed money to build more computers. They needed money to grow the business. He went to investors. He said, "I have a great product. It is called the Apple I. It will change the world. please invest in my company?" Most investors said no. They said, "Computers are for big companies. Ordinary people do not need computers. This is a bad idea." But Steve did not give up. He was persistent. He believed in his vision. He believed he could change the world. Finally, an investor said yes. His name was Mike Markula. He invested $250,000. That was a lot of money in those days. He became a partner in the company. He helped Steve and Woz grow the business. They called their company Apple Computer. They chose the name because of the fruit. Steve liked apples. He thought the name was simple and friendly. It was not a technical name. It was a name that everyone could remember. They started building the Apple II. It was their second product. It was better than the Apple One. It had color graphics. It had a built-in keyboard. It was easy to use. It was beautiful. The Apple II was a huge success. People loved it. Schools bought it. Businesses bought it. Families bought it. It sold millions of units. Apple became a real company. Steve became a millionaire. He was only 25 years old. But Steve was not satisfied. He wanted more. He wanted to build the best computer in the world. He wanted to create something perfect. He wanted to change the world completely. He started working on a new project. It was called the Macintosh. The Mac was a new kind of computer. It had a graphical interface. People could use a mouse. They could click on icons. It was much easier to use than other computers. Steve was obsessed with the Mac. He wanted it to be perfect. He pushed his team very hard. He worked long hours. He shouted at people. He demanded the impossible. He was difficult to work with, but he was also inspiring. He made people believe they could do great things. The Macintosh was introduced in 1984. The introduction was famous. It was during the Super Bowl. Apple showed a commercial. The commercial was called 1984. It showed a woman running. She threw a hammer at a big screen. It was a powerful message. It said Apple was different. Apple was for the rebels. Apple was for the people who thought differently. The Macintosh was successful. It was not an immediate success. It had some problems. It was slow. It was expensive. But it changed the computer industry. It showed people what computers could be. But Steve's success did not last. He had problems with the company. The board of directors did not like his style. They said he was too difficult. They said he was too emotional. They said he was not a good manager. In 1985, Steve was fired from Apple. He was fired from the company he had built. He was very sad. He was very angry. He felt betrayed. He did not know what to do. But Steve did not give up. He started a new company. He called it Next. It was a computer company for businesses. He built powerful computers for universities and corporations. The computers were expensive. They were not very popular, but they were beautiful. They had a special operating system. He also bought a small studio. It was called Pixar. Pixar made animated films. They used computers to create movies. Steve believed in Pixar. He believed in the power of animation. Pixar created the first animated feature film. It was called Toy Story. It was a huge success. It was the most successful movie of the year. It made a lot of money. It changed the animation industry forever. Apple was struggling. The company was losing money. They were not selling many computers. They were in trouble. The board of directors knew they needed help. They called Steve. They said, "Please come back. We need you. Apple needs you." Steve agreed. He came back to Apple in 1996. He became the CEO. He was back in charge of the company he had built. Steve immediately made changes. He simplified the product line. He got rid of many products. He focused on a few key products. He said, "We need to be great at a few things, not mediocre at many things." He designed the iMac. It was a beautiful computer. It came in many colors. It was simple to use. It was popular with consumers. It saved the company. Apple was back on track. Then came the iPod. It was a small music player. It could hold thousands of songs. It was small and beautiful. It was easy to use. It became the most popular music player in the world. Then came the iPhone. It was a mobile phone. It was also a music player. It was also a computer. It was all of these things in one small device. It changed the mobile phone industry. It changed the world. Everyone wanted an iPhone. Then came the iPad. It was a tablet computer. It was between a phone and a computer. It was perfect for reading. It was perfect for watching videos. It was perfect for browsing the internet. It was another huge success. Apple became the most valuable company in the world. The stock price went up. The company made billions of dollars. Steve was a billionaire. He was one of the richest men in the world. Steve was not just a businessman. He was an artist. He believed that products should be beautiful. He believed that design mattered. He believed that technology should be simple. He said, "We do not just make products. We make experiences." He was known for his speeches. He was a great speaker. He captivated audiences. He made people dream. He made people believe in the future. He said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Steve also had a difficult side. He could be cruel. He could be demanding. He made people cry. He was not always kind. He was not always fair. He was a complex person. He had many contradictions. But he also inspired people. He brought out their best. He made them do things they never thought they could do. His employees were loyal. They followed him. They believed in him. They worked hard for him. They created amazing products. They changed the world. In 2003, Steve was diagnosed with cancer. He had pancreatic cancer. It was a serious diagnosis. He was told he did not have long to live. Steve fought the disease. He continued to work. He continued to lead Apple. He wanted to create one last product. He wanted to create something special. He worked on the iPad. He worked on the iPhone. He worked on new products for the future. In 2011, Steve resigned as CEO. He was too sick to continue. He died in October 2011. He was only 56 years old. He died surrounded by his family. He died peacefully. His death was a huge loss. People all over the world mourned. They left flowers and messages at Apple stores. They shared their memories of Steve. They remembered his products. They remembered his speeches. They remembered his vision. Steve's legacy lives on. The products he created are still used today. The company he built is still going strong. The ideas he had are still inspiring people. Apple is one of the most valuable companies in the world. It has millions of customers. It has thousands of employees. It creates products that people love. It is a testament to Steve's vision. Steve's story teaches us many lessons. He taught us to follow our dreams. He taught us to be passionate. He taught us to never give up. He taught us to be different. He taught us to think differently. He said, "Your time is limited. Do not waste it living someone else's life. Do not let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." Steve was a difficult person. He was not perfect. He made mistakes. He hurt people. He was not always right. But he was determined. He was focused. He was brilliant. He was a visionary. He took a simple idea and changed the world. He showed us what is possible when you believe in yourself. He showed us that one person can make a difference. He showed us that the future is what we make of it. Thank you for listening to Success Stories Unfold. We hope this story inspired you. We hope it taught you something. We hope it made you dream. Remember, you have the power to create your own success. You have the power to build something great. You have the power to change the world. Start today. Take the first step. See you in the next story. Goodbye and good luck.